Good morning from Prudent Prosperity, Tuesday, October 21st. Here are 5 things you need to know today. Number 1. Stock futures are treading water this morning after major indexes jumped to start the week as shares of Apple and other tech firms pace gains. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq, each of which gained more than 1% yesterday, were fractionally higher in recent trading. Gold futures were down 2% at $4,275 an ounce, as the precious metal pulled back from record highs amid the stock market rally. Bitcoin was at $108,500, down from a high yesterday of around $111,700. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note, which can affect borrowing costs for an array of consumer loans, continued to trade near 6-month lows at around 3.98%. Number 2. The U.S. government shutdown entered its 21st day on Tuesday amid hopes that the budget dispute could be resolved this week. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett told CNBC on Monday that the shutdown was likely to end sometime this week. One Hassett said that White House was prepared to take stronger action to force an end to the shutdown if no deal is reached this week. Meanwhile, the government work stoppage continues to affect the release of several economic reports from statistical agencies, with data on weekly jobless claims, retail sales, and housing starts delayed due to the shutdown. Market watchers are expected to get inflation data on Friday. Number 3. Shares of Apple were modestly lower in pre-market trading after closing at a record high Monday, following a report showing strong sales of the iPhone 17. Apple shares gained nearly 4% yesterday, hitting a new high for the first time in 2025 and lifting the company's market capitalization to nearly $4 trillion. A report from tech product research firm Counterpoint Research showed that iPhone 17 sales in the US and China during the first 10 days of availability were 14% higher than iPhone 16 sales over the like period. Apple shares were down 0.2% ahead of the opening bell. Number 4. General Motors shares are soaring in pre-market trading after the Big 3 automaker posted better-than-expected earnings and raised its full-year guidance. GM reported third-quarter revenue of $48.59 billion, ahead of the Visible Alpha consensus of $45.02 billion, while its earnings per share EPS of $2.80 exceeded analyst projections of $2.25.2. General Motors, GM, releases 2025 third-quarter results. GM also raised its full-year outlook for adjusted earnings before interest and taxes to between $12 billion and $13 billion, up from its prior forecast of $10 billion to $12.5 billion. While its adjusted EPS is now expected to hit $9.75 to $10.50, ahead of prior forecasts of $8.25 to $10. The strong earnings report comes after GM warned it would take a charge of up to $1.6 billion due to falling demand for electric vehicle sales. GM shares were up more than 11% in recent pre-market trading. Number 5. Netflix is set to release its third-quarter results after the closing bell, with Wall Street analysts expecting another strong report from the streaming giant. Netflix has projected that its advertising revenue could double this year, and investors will be eager to hear the company's latest guidance. Analysts surveyed by Visible Alpha expect Netflix to report $11.52 billion in third-quarter revenue, a 17% rise from the year-ago quarter, while its earnings per share is expected to have jumped 28% to $6.92. Shares of Netflix, which have gained nearly 40% since the start of the year, were up 0.8% in recent pre-market trading. And that's it for today.
If any of today's insights sparked a question or made you think about your own financial journey, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Let's take your next step together, strategically and confidently. And always remember, stay prudent, stay prosperous, make it a great day.